Okay, the next one is on Iraq. Most of the documents that related to Iraq were reported on by The Intercept. And in this series, we usually avoid what has been reported on by Intercept and just cover documents that, or tidbits of information that we haven't seen in the Intercept reporting. So I'll have a read through this, but it's probably unlikely that there's anything that we would report on.
Yeah.
Prototype collection systems deployed to Iraq. From Ops Officer, Signal Survey and Analysis. Since the fall of the Saddam Hussein regime in Iraq over a year and a half ago, there has been a continuing proliferation of new communications technologies into the region, as well as a morphing enemy of insurgents and foreign fighters. To keep pace with this technology explosion, the Signal Survey and Analysis Division, in conjunction with the National Reconnaissance Office, has deployed and installed 3 prototype signal discovery systems in and around Baghdad. Unfortunately, we can't see the photos because they didn't come with their original HTML. SIDToday is a high-capacity wideband digital recording system that is remotely controlled by the Signals Development Center. Each system continuously redacted.
Wow, this is interesting. This is the second time we've ever seen that, I think, right?
Right, so for that to be redacted, it means it must be in use at the time that this document was vetted by the NSA. It would have to be something that is critical to a current or ongoing mission.
Wow, that is amazing.
Something continuously, something, spectrum utilizing 4 tunable receivers, something, and a 16-hour buffer, which allows analysts to retrieve archived data, save to semi-permanent storage, conduct initial analysis, and exfiltrate data files remotely. Top secret. The primary purpose of SIDToday is to do signal discovery in Baghdad, to search for new, unknown, or variant signals within the VHF-UHF spectrum. To date, this mission has been successful. The STC, utilizing the TiVo, was the first element to collect and report data on a new CDMA cellular network used by the Iraqi government. It has discovered and resolved 4 new TDM signals and assisted NSA with the development of their system to exploit the APCO 25 communication system used by Baghdad police. Right, let's just jump to the bottom and see what that TDM is. Time division multiplex.
Okay. Yeah, and not only do we have one, like we don't just have one textual redaction, we have 2 of them in the same sentence, 2 separate sections of redaction, which is huge, I think.
I found it interesting that they left the words in the middle, spectrum utilizing 4 tunable receivers. So they don't mind telling you what it's comprised of, but they won't tell you what it's doing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very.
The secondary purpose, also somewhat interesting, though I assume probably not anomalous, is that a target is the Iraqi police force.
Yeah.
Top secret. The secondary purpose is to do signal and target development. I hate them using the word development in the context of targeting people. This mission is still evolving, but the Signal Survey and Analysis Division remains very optimistic about its potential, which includes the capability to geolocate signals of interest. It is now, see, this sounds like all well and good, like, you know, they're targeting terrorists or insurgents or whatever. But let's just remember what we've seen in previous documents. There was a document specifically relating to Iraq where they talked about monitoring media signals.
Yeah.
Where it was very clear that live streamers, independent media, could be picked up by a system exactly like this.
Yeah.
And monitored like this. And we remember that Al Jazeera was bombed in Iraq, that their TV station was bombed.
Yeah.
For it to have been bombed, they must have been monitoring its signals. Absolutely. They must have developed it as a target. So media can go through this whole targeting life cycle.
Absolutely.
And when they're talking about signals and monitoring signals, they can be talking about civilian targets and not just military targets.
Definitely. And we've talked about examples of that before as well, that you've given. Yes, and it's really, really hugely important that people do understand that that's what this reference is to. It doesn't have to be, a military target at all. It can be any target.
It is continuing to refine its concept of operations. So that concept of operations is that planning phase that we were talking about previously in relation to the issue management teams, was it, or something like that? So a concept of operations is obviously something that they develop for all aspects of their business, their teams, their resources. It is, I assume, that it is some kind of executive summary. So like it's some kind of short version of what it is that they are doing and what their motivation is and what they are wanting to achieve. The principles of the undertaking.
That makes sense.
To analyze the signals environment surrounding particular events, such as an IED detonation, mortar rocket attack, or ambush, or a broadcast.
Here we go again, yeah.
No, I just inserted that. That's not in the document.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying, it's
no,
not.
I was remembering the other document about broadcasts, yeah.
I doubt there was any IEDs happening inside the Al Jazeera newsroom. The SEC analysts pull recorded data from the TiVo to determine what signals were active 10 minutes before and after the events in an attempt to identify the particular detonation signal itself, if applicable, or to identify anti-Iraqi forces command and control communications. This analysis is shared directly with the appropriate target officers, as well as the 1st Cavalry Division's analysis and control element in Baghdad. The actual deployment was conducted in 2 phases, both in conjunction with other missions. Phase 1 included the deployment of one of these systems to Camp Prosperity. They named the palace Camp Prosperity.
Wow.
Are you joking me?
Gross.
Saddam's palace. Adjacent to the Green Zone in central Baghdad. Phase 2, conducted from blah, 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 included the deployment of 2 more systems, one to Camp Falcon in southern Baghdad and one to Camp Patriot in eastern Baghdad. Camp Prosperity.
It's literally almost as if they're just coming out right out and saying, hi, we came in and looted the place, like the entire country.
I assume that you could go one step further and say that that is where the mountainous pallets of US dollars were kept. Yeah. Remember that they chop it in, those untold millions of dollars or billions of dollars in cash. And there's photos of them unloading these giant pallets of shrink-wrapped cash.
It would make sense if that's where it was.
And I assume that would have been at Camp Prosperity, and I assume that Camp Prosperity is where Ambassador Bremer was.
Yeah, definitely. That sounds right.
The missing billions that they then couldn't account for.
Yeah.
Signals that Savannah, now they want to thank various people who are involved. The European Technical Centre for Logistical Support in Germany. So that means that Germany is not just involved as a lily pad base for drone operations in the current times, but actually was involved in the Iraq War itself.
Yeah.